On this part of math also, we're going to talk about relationships. What we mean by relationships, if I have two variables, y and x, or a and b, or c and d, what type of relationship between them? The relationship can be inverse, can be direct, can be joint, can be combined relationship with variables, whether they are two or more than two variables. Okay, here, if I have a with b, and I write it this way here, it means the relationship is directly proportional between a and b. If it is like this, by the way, that means it is inversely proportional. Inversely proportional between a and b. If I have here two variables, but sometimes I have three variables or more. But I'm going to give you here now things that you need to memorize them for all the coming questions. Okay, here we're going to write what? Direct relationship. And here we're going to talk about what? Inverse. And here we're going to talk about like joint. Then here what? Combined or other type of relationships. Look, if I have a relationship between A and B, and the relationship between them is directly, that means they are directly proportional to each other. A and B, or X and Y, whatever I have two variables, just memorize that. If it is directly proportional, write them on each other. Write them A1 over B1 equals A2 over B2. Now and ever. Now and ever. When I tell you the relationship is directly proportional, you write them as division on each other. So that means A, it has two cases, A1 and A2. And B, it has two cases, B1 and B2. So you write it as A1 over B1 equals A2 over B2. Keep that in mind. Division for direct. So D with D. D division and D direct relationship. So D with D, memorize it. Okay, what about if it is inverse? If it is inverse relationship between A and B and any other two variables, write it as multiplication. So inverse, write it as multiplication. So A1 B1 equals A2 B2. By the way, these ones are very important and they can help you in too many questions in math and physics. Other relationships that they are direct and inverse proportionalities. And it gives you a hint how to write the equation without, for example, now when I tell you, like in physics, when I tell you the current is directly proportional with the voltage. So that means you're going to understand that you can write them as what? As a division. You can write them as the division. When that one increases, what will happen to the other side, to the other one? So you write it as, if you have two cases for the current and the voltage and directly proportional, you write them what? This way. You write them what? This way. Many cases we have, and we're going to take examples after questions, and you're going to solve them to see how important or how we use them. Okay, now if I tell you now joint relationship is A with the relationship with B and C. In this case, if it is joint, it's going to be A1 is with B1 and C1. And also here A2 with B1 and C with C1 and C2. Good. So that means this is joint. Combined relationship or other relationships. Now if I tell you now one equation. If I tell you now A is directly proportional with B. Look here now what I'm telling you. And A is inversely, is what? Is inversely proportional with C. A is directly proportional with B and A is inversely proportional with C. How can you write this formula? How can you write this formula? Look, first go to see the first one. A is directly with B. So that means I write it as division because it's directly A1 over B1 equals what? A2 over B2. Now I finished this one, right? I go now to the next relationship Okay, when you go down to the next relationship here now, A is inversely with C. And we said if it is inversely, that means times. So A1 is going to be multiplied by C1. So you multiply here by C1 and here you multiply it by C2. So that means now, as you see, A in this case, as you see, it is with C multiplication. So that means it is inversely proportional with C, you see, inversely. And A itself with the B, it is what? Division. So that means it is directly what? Proportional. So now if you have any text that they tell you that one is inversely by that one and that one is directly by that one, you remember that when it is inversely proportional, you write it as a multiplication, and it is directly proportional, you write it as division. Even if you have three numbers now, if I tell you another just example, if I tell you A is inversely proportional with B, and I tell you now B is directly proportional with C, how can you write this equation now? How can you write it? Okay, you go to the first step. A is inversely with B, so that means it's multiplication. So A1, B1 equals what? A2, B2. Good. Now I finished the first part. I go to the second part now. B with C. So that means it's B directly. So that means the B with C directly proportional. So that means the relationship between them is division. So that means the B with C is division. So that means B1, C1, and here the B1 with what? With C1. So in this case, you write what? The formula. And in this case, now when you write the formula, they're going to give you 5 variables. Here you have 6 variables. They're going to give you 5 variables, and you find the 6th one. So how can you find the 6th one? They will not give you this formula. You write the formula by itself, by understanding what is inverse and what is direct. Then you apply the formula by substituting the 5 variables. Then you find what the 6th variable. So you'll solve them in the next part, which is questions. Thank you. See you in other videos.